Hi guys, in this video, I am going to be showing you how to leverage AI end-to-end to build a supplement brand that you can sell on Amazon, TikTok, Meta, Walmart, I don't know, your local marketplace, wherever you want to sell these supplements, online or offline. I'm going to show you how to do it in this video with AI. Now, you might be thinking, who the hell is this dude and why should I listen to him? So I've got a supplement brand in a sense. I've got a pet supplement brand, right? Because what I'm going to teach you applies to human supplements, pet supplements, snail supplements, whatever it is, right? The same concept applies to tons of different supplements and basically any product really. But I'm just using supplements because it's a nice sort of interesting topic. But who am I? So I've got a brand that's doing at the minute over $400,000 in sales. So this is across three main channels really. This is mainly Amazon, Shopify, and a little bit of TikTok mixed in with this brand. But as you can see, yeah, the last 30 days we've done $450,000. $116,000 in profit. We've got about 3,000 subscribers at the minute, which is a massive advantage when you're selling supplement and subscription type products, right? But let's dive into it, right? So what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be going through the key parts to all of this, right? How you can find, source, brand, and then launch your own supplement brand and leverage AI as much as possible, which is going to make it easier, faster, cheaper, quicker, and everything, right? We've also actually got a community where we help people do this, right? So if you want to check that out, it's called Honest the FBA. We've also got a community where we teach people how to be viral TikTok marketers and all of that stuff. And we also help brands leverage and launch on TikTok, all that stuff. Go and check out the video description if you're interested in working with us. But back to this, right? So the first point of this is using AI to help us find opportunities for brands and supplement brands, whatever it might be, right? So first of all, we're going to be using ChatGPT to give us product niches that fit the right criteria, right? And that criteria for me is something that's consumable, it's high margin, ideally it's used every single day, and it's small and light, right? So we literally come over to ChatGPT and just tell it what we want to do, right? So can you give me some e-com product niches that fit this criteria, right? So consumable, ideally used on a daily basis, in a growing market. That's big. What else was it that we said? High margin, small and light. High margin, small and light. And then let's say priced on average between, let's say $25 and like $70, right? Because that's sort of the sweet spot. ChatGPT, honestly, I've been using it more and more for everything. I'm using it for everything right now. I'm using it to give me business advice, life advice. I use it basically as a therapist almost at this point. Genuinely, you can use ChatGPT to give you business advice that you would pay thousands of dollars for. You can use it as basically like a business consultant. It's absolutely wild, right? So we're going to ask it something like this. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, right? And of course, there's other tools that you can use to do product research, but this is a good way to leverage ChatGPT, right? So there's a bunch of stuff that comes out, right? You've got gut health products, you've got daily greens, you've got hydration, you've got mushroom-based supplements, all of this sort of stuff, right? You've got beauty and personal care, all of this, right? This is going to give us sort of like the basis idea of where we can start with looking to launch a supplement brand. And then we can go to Amazon, we can go to Kalo Data, we can go to Exploding Topics, we can go to Google Trends, and we can use all of these different sort of starting points to come up with some ideas, right? What I also like to do is I like to use a tool called Kalo Data. So Kalo Data basically pulls in all of the best-selling products from TikTok, because I'm going to let you in on a very secret little strategy here. If you are based in, well, if you're based pretty much anywhere and you're looking to launch a brand, I believe that one of the easiest and simplest and most straightforward plus highest chance of success, if that's even the right way to say it, way of launching a brand and a product is to copy an existing brand that's doing really well in one market and launch it in another market. Now, I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to use this product as an example for the rest of the video, right? So as you can see, this is all of the best sellers on TikTok, and you've got some products that are doing insane numbers. Now, obviously, the bigger these niches, generally, the bigger the level of competition is going to be, right? Especially if you're just looking to sell these products on Amazon. Like if you were looking to sell these physician choice probiotics and digestive enzymes just on Amazon, you will get eaten alive. But where this gets interesting is if you start going down this list and you start looking at these smaller sub niches that exist within these bigger niches, it's going to give you a lot of ideas. But a strategy that I am adopting and we're teaching within our community is to take products like this and launch them in another territory, right? So what I want to do for the rest of the video is I'm going to imagine that I'm taking this product here, which is this Yerba Magic sort of blend of instant tea powder, right? And I'm going to pretend that I'm going to launch this product in the UK and I'm going to use AI to do all of it, right? Because there's a few main benefits to doing that, right? You've already got proof of concept that this brand and this particular product has got great product market fit, because I know that this brand is doing millions, right? This is saying it's doing $3 million a month just on TikTok, right? If I come over to Amazon and I search for Yerba Magic, which is this one here, this is doing over 6,000 units a month on Amazon. So I think it's doing nearly $1 million a month on Amazon at the minute. So yeah, it's doing $700,000 a month on Amazon. And it's only been live, I think, for about 12 months, right? So it's killing it on Amazon. You can see all of these copycats. So this is an absolute copycat. Almost literally looks exactly the same. The people that do this are just absolute idiots. I don't know why you would ever just copy these brands like for like. But even these brands are doing really well. 25K, 55K, because there's so much demand for these products that people are just seeing all this stuff. They're not even checking whether or not it's the actual the actual legit brand or the legit product. But basically, my strategy is to look at these types of products and launch them in a different market, right? Because as I said, you've got proof of concept, you've got all of the review data that you can look up. You've basically got everything that you need. You've got all of the viral TikTok videos. You've got everything that you need to launch this product in another market. Now, I would never copy the brand like for like. I would change the name completely, the branding completely, and I would maybe even look at targeting a different demographic, right? So this is the first step. Ask ChatGPT to give you these product niches that fit this criteria. And you can see that it did it down here, right? I already had this product in mind, but I would just keep asking it questions and keep going down the rabbit hole of asking it to give you these ideas for all of these types of products, right? So that's kind of like the first step. When you find a product idea, you can use deep research to understand the demographic inside out. So what you can do is you can come over to ChatGPT and you can click this button here and you can type in, I am looking to sell a supplement product for this type of demographic. Can you give me all of the customer research, anything from across the web that you can find on this demographic? So for this demographic, I know that this is blowing up on TikTok because it's being advertised to women over 35 or 40 as a weight loss and an appetite suppressor, right? So if we put that into ChatGPT, that's going to give us an unbelievable amount of research that you can use to do all of your branding, do absolutely everything. I'm not going to do it now because sometimes it can take an hour to run through and do that. So I can't do it live on the video, but that would be my second step. Once you found an interesting product, you then want to go and do the deep research using ChatGPT, and it's going to give you unbelievable amounts of gold information, right? Next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use ChatGPT to give you suggestions for ways you can change the product, or perhaps you can market it in a different way to a different demo. So I'm literally going to take this product here, right? And I'm going to run it in ChatGPT. I'm going to start a new search. I paste it in, and then I'm going to say, can you analyze this product? Can you analyze this product? Oh, man. All right, my camera. Oh, no. All right, so my camera cut off, but where was I? We were going to use ChatGPT at this point to basically analyze this product. So literally all you have to do, right, is you just literally copy and paste the Amazon URL into ChatGPT, and then you just kind of write whatever you want, right? So can you analyze this product and give me the what the good and bad things about it, ideas in for improving the product, and then 5 ideas for how I could market this product to a different demographic, right? So this is going to just crunch everything that's on here, right? Now, I don't know how deep it goes into all of the reviews and everything, but from doing this, it's pretty damn good. So it might ask you questions like, just be sure I give you the best insights. Could you let me know, are you the creator, seller of the product? Which demographic are you currently targeting? I'm the seller. Let's just say that in case sometimes it tells you that it can't do it. Which demographic are you currently targeting? I want to define a new one. Are you focused on online marketing? I'm focused on online markets, right? Hopefully it doesn't tell me that it can't do this for legal reasons. Okay, awesome. So while it's doing that, because that actually might take a while, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to start looking at the sourcing bits, because sometimes this can take, I don't know, this could take 10 minutes and you don't want to sit here and just chat to me or stare at me looking at that for 10 minutes, right? So this is basically the first bit, right? You can use it to come up with broad ideas for niches. Just keep giving it criteria. Like genuinely, the more that you use it, the more that it's going to remember and learn, and it just gets better and better. And it basically just becomes like your like $20 a month VA. Like it's mind blowing, right? So when you do find your product idea, then you can use this deep research. The deep research is going to blow your mind. And it's also going to help for this last bit that I'm going to go into towards the end of the video, right? But then you can use it to give you suggestions for how you can change the product or market it in a different way. Because one of the key things that we're teaching within our community is how you can take an existing brand or product and target a different demographic, right? Now, the way that I've seen this done in the past is very interesting. So, for example, let's say gummies or whatever, right? There was some of these big gummy brands, like this one, for example. This is a Super Greens gummy, right? Now, this actual original product was kind of based off Athletic Greens, right? So this Grunz company basically took Athletic Greens and they changed the format into like a gummy. But then they launched it for adults and then they switched it up and they launched it for kids. So one thing that you can do when you're doing your research is look at big brands and look at successful products and think, how can you market them at a different demographic? Now, another good example that's just sprung up to mind, and you might have seen me talk about this on other videos, is Primal Queen, right? Because originally these types of products, these were these sort of like beef organ supplements, right? These are historically targeting men, right? And you'll see tons of examples. They always usually look a little bit like this, but obviously not the female ones. It'll just be like, look like a cowboy type of brand, whatever. Primal Queen just turned that on its head and started marketing these beef organ supplements towards women, right? So that's one of the best ways that you can look at launching a new brand is you find something that's been marketed traditionally at one specific demographic, maybe at kids, and then you do it for adults or adults and kids, young people, old people, men, women, right? You just kind of flip the script on its head and do it in a different sort of way. So I recently realized these guys have launched these creatine gummies actually, which don't look like they're going too well. For me, this didn't really make sense. How do you go from beef organ supplements to creatine bites? That doesn't make too much sense to me. But you can even see here, like these guys have basically just copied this, right? Grass-fed beef liver capsules, ancient grown. So you can see they've pretty much just ripped off Primal Queen. I don't understand why people do this. Like, why use the same kind of font? Like, you don't want to look like another brand. But you can see they've just copied them and they're doing 45K a month, right? If you adopt this sort of strategy that these guys have used, where they're on TikTok, they're on Meta, they're all over Amazon as well, they're on all of these main platforms, like there's so much opportunity here to kill it, right? So let's go back. So this is still going to be doing this for a little while. So I'm going to move on to the next bit, right? But these are the main key points for this first bit, right? This is how you're going to use ChatGPT to come up with ideas and then also think of how you can kind of turn those ideas into a new idea and for a new demographic that you could target, for example. All right, the next bit is we're going to look at sourcing, right? So we can ask ChatGPT to look at Amazon, Google, TikTok to find the average prices for your product, right? So I'm going to load up another ChatGPT. Now, this is something that I've started doing recently. So I can say, like, I want to sell, yerba mate powder. Can you research the web and find me the average prices on TikTok, Amazon.com, and I don't know, Google's first page, whatever, right? So again, this might take a little bit of time to research, or this one might be quite quick. But what this allows you to do very quickly is to understand, all right, I know that I want to sell this yerba mate powder, right? But you then need to know economically what your kind of like target price needs to be. Because a good rule of thumb is if the product costs you, let's say $3, and then it costs you $2, $5 in total to get the product and ship it to the warehouse in the UK or in the US or whatever. Let's say it's $5. Ideally, you want to be selling the product for at least 5 times that. So if you land it in the country for like $5, you really want to be selling it for at least $25, ideally more. If you can land something for $5 and sell it for $30 or $35 or even $40, you're giving yourself so much room in that gross margin, and that's such an important part of e-commerce, right? So basically, this is what this is going to do, right? And this is going to give you these prices. So here it says prices generally range from $30 to $50. So it's got Yerba Magic because it's massive on TikTok Shop. You got this Zune Super Yerba, which is probably a copycat, and you got Amazon. Generally, stuff on TikTok is a little bit cheaper than Amazon because TikTok is a bit more like impulse buy. But getting a good idea of all of these prices is just better for you in your research. So at this stage, all I'm really doing is I'm trying to find kind of the average prices, right? And this will just summarize it all. It's looked at all these sources, then it's summarized. So TikTok Shop, $30 to $50 for 30 servings. Amazon.com, $14.35 to $50, depending on the product size. Google results, 10 to 25, right? So if you, so what I could say is, can you recommend a target price for me to sell at based on this research, right? Now, look, I'm going to go in and I would do this manually anyway, right? But the more you get into the habit of just using ChatGPT as like a research assistant, the better everything's going to be with whatever it is that you do, right? So here we go. Look, recommended price $39 to $44.99, and that makes sense, right? Because this Yerba Mate, this original brand, this Yerba Magic, that's about where they are. So what this is going to do, this is going to give me my target price then, right? So I know that I want to be trying to source this product and land it in the country for really maximum like $8 if I want to be able to sell it for around $40 to $45. So if I can get this product for like $5 for the bag and everything, and I can get the shipping, the duties, the taxes, and get it to my 3PL for like $7 maybe, and then sell it for like 40, 45, then I know I'm going to get a decent sort of price. So this is just giving you your rough sort of price that you're going to sell it at, and then the rough sort of price that then you need to source it at, right? Let's go back to this. This is still not found it. But what this is going to do, this is going to break down all the pros and cons. I'll just come back to it and we can have a look afterwards, right? So next up, we're going to ask it to find a list of suppliers in the EU or the US and draft a template email for reaching out to them, right? So what I can go is, can you research? Can you find me 5 suppliers in the US and EU that could help me source this product, right? So what you're probably going to need for a product like this is a co-packer, right? So you might ask ChatGPT, like, what is the actual best type of manufacturer for me to source this product? Because it might not be that the best way to do this is to literally just source the ready-made product, right? You might be better off getting all the products individually and then using what's called a co-packer to blend them and to put them together and then put them in a bag. That's what we do with some of our products, right? We get actually these products from all over the world. Some of it comes from India, some of it's from China. We buy those individual ingredients, and then we have our co-packer blend it all together and put it in a bag for us, right? We're not buying it ready-made. We're actually buying all the components and mixing it together. But this is going to give you all these ideas, right? It's going to give you US suppliers with all the contacts, European suppliers. And again, it might not throw out amazing results first time. You might have to keep asking it different things, or ask it in a different way, or ask it to explain further parts of it, right? But hopefully you can see that this is just absolutely nuts, right? So sourcing. Finally, use ChatGPT to tell you what you legally need to have to sell this product on Amazon or TikTok, right? So let's go back And this is a super important part. If you're going to be selling supplements, your compliance side of it is so unbelievably important, right? So what can you let me know what compliance or legal stuff I need in order to sell this in the UK or the US, right? So this is hopefully it's not going to make me look like an idiot. So great question. When you're saying you have might powder in the US, especially for food supplement, there's some key compliance. So this is basically it. You need the compliance side, you need the labeling side, and you need to just know all of these legal requirements. You do not want to get one of these products to market and find out that it's fake, that you don't have approval by Amazon or TikTok to sell it, that you don't have the right things on the label. If you sell a load of stuff and then you get an email from the FDA or whoever, right, or whoever it is in the EU, that you've got the wrong label, you could be absolutely fucked. So one of the main things you need to do is you need to make sure that you're 100% on the compliance side, completely watertight, right? So Yerba is typically sold as a food, tea, bread, dietless supplement. If sold as a supplement, must blah blah blah, okay, ensure this, whatever. Label requirements, product name, net quantity, ingredient list, okay. All of this stuff, okay, cool. So we're going to be looking at the UK market, right? So let's have a look through. So yeah, FSA, that's like I guess the equivalent of the FDA in the US. You might it's going to traditional herbal infusion. So it doesn't require novel food approval unless you're using extracted high potency forms. If you're using an extract, submit a novel food application. Now, this is something that I could do in another video. I don't want to go into that too much now, but you can research it yourself. So label requirements going to tell you all of these label requirements, health claims. This is another one, an important one. When you're making any health claims online, especially if you're advertising on TikTok or Meta, you have to understand what you can and you can't say. And the best way to do that is ChatGPT. Basically, the best way to do everything is now ChatGPT. But all of this stuff, again, I'm not going to go super in depth on it, right? But this is going to give you all of the information that you need to move forward and understand everything that you need to do. You might then have to speak to an expert. If it's a product that is highly likely to need a specific certificate and you're not sure how to do that, just ask ChatGPT. But then maybe at some point, get some consultation from an expert or a compliance expert. So we've got those compliance experts within our community that we help people with all of this stuff. But yeah, again, you can see how detailed this can go, and then you can go even further. Can you tell me more about the label requirements? Can you give me some examples? This just makes everything 1,000 times easier, right? So this is still loading up this report. Again, I'll come back to this afterwards, right? But there we go. That's how you can use ChatGPT to help you find suppliers. You can use ChatGPT to help you with the compliance side. You can get list of suppliers. You can get the average prices. You can even ask it. This is what I forgot about. You can even ask it to draft you a template email when you're contacting these suppliers. I'm not going to do it now, but you can say, ChatGPT, please help me draft up a good professional sounding outreach email that I can send to suppliers to tell them that I'm looking for this product, blah, 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 right? There you go. Super, super cool. That's how it's going to help you source your product. So next up, let's get to the sexy part, right? Let's get to the branding part, okay? So you can be using ChatGPT now because the updates with the ChatGPT image generator are absolutely wild, right? So this is going to help you come up with a brand name, come up with a logo, come up with your packaging, come up with your listing image. Basically, you can do everything that used to cost like thousands of dollars and take months. You can do it all within ChatGPT, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up this image and I'm going to copy it. And I am going to use this as inspiration. Now, look, to make something very clear, I am not saying copy this exact product, right? I just think it's fucking stupid to do that. But the reality is most big brands are just copycats of other brands, right? And this is finished now. This has finished it to go back to what we were doing before. So it's come up with the pros and cons, suggestions for product improvements, and 5 targeted online marketing strategies to reach new demographics, right? So it's going to give you the good and the bad. This is going to give you all of the ideas for how you can market it. But it's going to give you all so a lot of it is about gut health, energy boost, blah, blah, blah. What is all this? The negative aspects, okay, the pricing, whatever. $4 million worth of people are still buying it every month. It can't be that expensive. Sweetness and flavor limitations, brand and marketing. The branding around yerba might produce a limited current, which can be high expectations. Some consumers found the market exaggerated or confusing. For example, calling it a 3-in-1 super drink. This is another thing, right? You've got to be careful what you say when you're building these brands, because the real value in these brands is that customers come back and they buy it over and over. So if you go too crazy with the claims and you mislead people, they're not going to buy it again. So you have to be very careful about this, like dramatic results. And this is one of the things, like Nature's Ozempic on TikTok, right? You've got to be really careful and research, like, is this actually a product that's helping people? Because ultimately, like I said, you want people to come back and buy from you over and over. So packing and format, colorful, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so opportunities for product improvement. Offer less sweet or unsweetened variants, right? So maybe you do one that's just not as sweet and you advertise and use that. Expand flavor options. Maybe do some crazy flavors. Adjusting the price or the package size. Yeah, maybe you could do, I don't know. I think this is essentially that you can use it every single day, right? But maybe you could do something for TikTok in the UK that was, yeah, a 10-serving pouch and you make it a little bit cheaper. Cheaper products tend to do better on TikTok. If you wanted to launch on TikTok and then get that halo effect, which we talk about in a lot of our videos. Packaging enhancement, refine the messaging to address the hype. The brand's message should balance excitement with clarity. This is just wild, isn't it? And enhance the user engagement, turn it into a community. This is something that I've talked about before. If you can make a brand and you can turn that brand into a loyal community, you're gonna make a lot of money. Guide or an ebook, not a huge fan of that. I think it's a little bit cheap. Creative online marketing strategies, TikTok morning magic challenge. So it's going to look at all these ideas that it gives you, right? But where it can start to get interesting, which it actually hasn't done, is telling you how you could market this. So I want to say, which demos of people could I target with this product? With this product that aren't typically being targeted, right? Or currently being targeted by this brand, right? Because what I want to get is some ideas. I mean, I'm going to be launching this in the UK, or in theory I am, right? So I could just copy it and just do a different type of brand. But really, if you wanted to go into the US market, for example, you could take this same product, but like, as I said before, just target a different type of person. So gamers and streamers, this is a massive one. This is absolutely huge. There's a huge brand. What is it? Supplements for gamers. Let's have a look. There's a brand. I can't remember what it's called. Is it that Ghost brand? Ghost brand. It might be that one, or it's this one perhaps. Mad Monk. There's a few massive supplements for gamers because they want to stay fucking ready, don't they? So this Genius Gamer from the Genius brand. It might be this one that I'm thinking of, this Ghost. But anyway, look, this is what it gives you. So could you have a yerba mate brand targeting gamers and streamers, intermittent fasters and biohackers? Biohackers are a good one. This is a really good demographic. These people have usually got money. They're looking to be healthy. They're happy to pay more. Nurses, healthcare workers, and shift workers. That's a good one. Could you create an entire brand targeting these people? There's a lot of these. If you look in the UK, how many nurses there are, there's a lot, right? It's going to be a big market. Founders, coders, remote workers, premenopausal and menopausal women. Again, like you look at this one, right? It doesn't really look like it's kind of targeting like gamers or whatever, right? So if you can get very specific with your marketing and you can target these very specific demographics, that's going to be great. So we've got a bunch of these ideas, right? So let's just say then, for example, that I wanted to target gamers and streamers, right? So can you create a packaging mock-up and a new brand name for targeting gamers and streamers with this product? Now, you might have to do this a couple of times, right? So let's have a Mana Fuel. That's quite cool. Oh, Mana Energy in games. Oh, that's very cool. Look, I mean, come on, man. Like, sometimes it blows my mind how powerful this is. Like, I would never have come up with that. I don't know if you would have ever come up with that. Is such a cool name. Mana Fuel. Mana is energy in games, magic points, fuel. Okay, so brand voice, packaging cost. Okay, can you give me the go ahead? Yes, please. Mock it up in a stand-up pouch. Make it super realistic and bold and bright and cool. Right. So this is going to mock it up, right? This is just, I mean, honestly, man, look, if you use these tools in the right way, and if you leverage Amazon, Meta, and TikTok, you can just build such a scalable, high profit brand that I'm not saying this is easy, but there has never ever been an easier time with all of these tools. Most of the people that you know, they're just sat at home twiddling their thumbs watching Netflix. And we have this technology at our fingertips where you can do this shit. Like when I got started 5 or 6 years ago, like we just didn't have this stuff. It's made it so much easier to get into this, right? It's made it so much easier. And it's not made it so that like absolutely anybody can do it, because most people are not going to go to the lengths of doing it like this, right? But if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to really do that, then it is so powerful and it's so fun. Like, look at this. This is doing $700,000 on Amazon. They're doing like $4 million a month across Amazon and TikTok. Look, really nice. All this is done with AI. I think this packaging was even made with AI, right? And look at it. I mean, it looks beautiful. Look, it's viral on TikTok, and you got all of these copycats now, which is going to happen. It's just when you have success. But these guys are not bothered about the copycats, right? And the reason they're not bothered is because they've got thousands of people searching for their brand, because they're all over TikTok. And this is what I'm going to show you in the later part of the video, how we can approach that. All right, so this is a bit crap. So let's have a look. I'm going to do this again, right? Because I'm not happy with that. Can you make me a product mock up for a brand called Mana Fuel? It's and I'm gonna what brands do I really like? So Ghost supplements. Do we want to use that as inspiration? Because what you can basically do is you can take products or brands and you can steal them for as inspiration. But I don't want to do that. Let's have a look. So let's have a look at protein supplements. Let's just see if there's any sort of cool brands. Because what you can do is you can find something that you really like the look of. And then you can kind of steal it as inspiration and tell ChatGPT, big like CPG brands, cool like supplement brand design. Let's just have a look. Supplement brand design. Okay, that's quite cool, isn't it? This one's cool. This golly one. I really like that one at the top left. I might just pick that one. Let's have a look. No, I don't want to do that one. What about this one? So basically, I just want to find something that catches my eye, and then I'm basically going to tell ChatGPT to like use that as inspiration to help me come up with something for my brand. I like that quite a bit. It's quite cool, isn't it? Let's have a look. Energy drink brand design. Let's have a look. So rooted. That's quite cool, isn't it? Look at that one. That's cool. I like that a lot. It also matches like the green of can you make me a product back for a brand called Mana Fuel? It's a yerba mate blend, targeting gamers as a demo. Use this image as inspiration. Make it photorealistic and create it as a pouch packaging design on a white background. Right. So I'm going to upload that photo and it's hopefully going to give me something good. Now, look, doesn't always do it first time round amazingly well. Sometimes I've done this and I've been blown away by how good it is. Other times I've done it and I've been like, what the fuck is this? This is absolute shite. But I like that. So look, like it's just so easy. And then the other thing as well is like, oh, that's cool. Why didn't I do that one? If it doesn't come out well, I'm going to copy that one because that's really cool. Oh, look at that as well. That is awesome. So you can see what I like to do is I like to sort of look at neighboring niches, right? I don't want to look at yerba mate brands, and that's what all of these idiots do wrong, in my opinion. Is they just copy, like they're like, oh, I'm going to make a yerba mate, I'm going to call it yerba magique, and just completely copy it. But what I like to do is come over here and take a look at like what brands are killing it in like similar spaces and use that design as inspiration. I'm not a massive fan of that one. But look at that, like that's super cool, isn't it? Like that's crazy. And you could just feed that into ChatGPT and say, just give me a mock-up and do whatever. So yeah, it might take another 5 minutes, but I'm excited to see it. It's also quite cool that it takes. But this one looks a little bit like Brez or Breeze, right? But that's really cool. Look at that one. I think these are just kind of like, yeah, like concepts, aren't they? Look at that. That's fucking cool, man. Koya, that's a cool brand name. I mean, look, there's so many knock, really cool stuff. So let's have a look what comes out. Now look at that. That looks fucking cool. That looks cool. Now look, this is obviously going to take a little bit of sort of optimizing and changing, because I still wouldn't want to do that, right? Like that, they might have a copyright on this. I wouldn't want to copy this exactly as it is, but you can play around with it, right? And you could, can you recreate that with the same style and colors, but make it less like the original? Also add more colors and elements to the packaging to make it stand out to gamers, right? I've actually heard that you're better off starting a new chat every time you want to do that, but because this might just give me something totally crap now. But whilst that's going on in the background, right, I'm going to go on to the next bit, right? So we've done our finding, we've done our sourcing, we've essentially got through to the branding part, right? So this is where it's going to help you come up with a brand name. Like I said, it's going to help you do the packaging. You can basically do all of your listing design, and it's not going to get you to the final end result, right? It's not going to get you to the absolute final end result, but it's going to get you pretty close, and it's going to allow you to then hand off to a designer to just tweak it. Like you could just hand off this now to a designer and say, use that as inspiration, but tweak it a little bit. Because you can see like, the logo's a bit weird. It's obviously just copied that. It's not really adding any other elements to it or anything like that. But you could just hand that off to a designer at some point if you wanted, and then you can take it further, right? So while it's loading that other one, let's move on to the launch bit, because this is where it starts to get really cool, right? So what you can do, or what I would recommend for anybody launching now, is use a multitude of platforms. Don't just look at launching on Amazon, right? So let's have a look. Yerba mate. I bet there's people already searching, yerba magic. And let's see, there's not anybody that's completely ripped it off. So this looks like a brand that is already kind of doing that type of thing in the UK. But what you might see is that maybe there's not actually any big brands doing that well in the UK. And if you're a typical Amazon seller, you might be like, oh, there's not very much demand. But guess what? We're going to create demand. So this is where Amazon gets very, very profitable and very, very interesting, when you don't have to just rely on Amazon and people searching for your products. And that's what we're teaching within our community using our Halo flywheel system, right? What we're going to do is we are going to get as many content creators as possible to make videos for our product. So we're going to take this product once it's ready. Don't know if I like that or not. I'd have to do that again because that looks a bit crap. We're going to take this product and we are going to get it into the hands of as many content creators in the UK as we can. And how are we going to do that? Well, we know that if we go over to TikTok and we search for yerba magic, we already know what's made this product go viral. Now, where my cunning plan may have fallen flat is that we know this product has gone viral because they're targeting women, like middle-aged women that want to lose weight, right? So they're selling it as an appetite suppressant. So if we then target gamers, it might not have the same effect and we wouldn't be able to use the same content. So this is a key part of it. If you do want to take this strategy and you want to copy it, you have to understand Maybe you have to target the same demographic, but you have to just do the branding differently, or maybe improve an ingredient in the product. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to carry on anyway, but that's just an important part of it, right? So we know basically what all of these women, why they're so attractive to this product, why they're so attracted to this product, because it's helping them with the losing weight, lowering the appetite. That's why it's gone viral, and that's why it's gone crazy on Amazon, and it's gone crazy everywhere. So we know this has happened in the US. So all we need to do is replicate this in another territory, in the UK or in Germany or wherever you want to do it, right? So you can get ChatGPT to draft up a brief that you can give to content creators that explains everything about your product, and come up with some creative hooks that you can use to go viral, right? Can you help me write a creative brief that explains everything about this product and then gives content creators ideas for hooks and ways to stand out with viral style videos, right? Now, again, I might start this as a new chat if I was doing this myself. I would definitely go back to the drawing board with this branding, because I don't love this one. It looks like some sort of like kids thing, which maybe, I don't know, maybe you could target 15, 16-year-olds. I don't think you could. But this one's a little bit better. It's not that great. But what you can now do is create a brief. And once you've created your brief, you're going to find as many content creators as you can. Now, you can find them directly through TikTok. You can find them on Instagram, or you can use a community like ours. So we've got a community where we've got all these content creators, and everyone that gets access to our brand community, Honest FBA, they also get access to this. So what we help people do at this point is get their product and their brand in front of hundreds of people, and then train them on what to say in these videos. Now, where this gets interesting is you've already got all of the scripts. You can look at all of the top performing videos, and you can basically copy them and rip them off. Now, this isn't illegal. This is what everybody is doing. I even did this. I don't think it's on this one. I went viral with my first TikTok video. It's not this profile, because I literally copied a video that was going viral in the States, and my camera's just gone off. Hopefully it's going to come back on. I don't know how long that's been off, but welcome back. So I literally copied a video that had gone viral in the US, and I basically did it in the UK. So you've got everything here that you need, plus it's going to give you the brief that you can give to the content creators. So you can use a community like ours to find these creators. You can get 15, 20 creators, give them this brief, train them up, and then get them to make a video a day for 30 days. What that's going to do is you are going to have 900 videos. If you do that many creators, at the end of the month, you're going to get a percentage of those videos that go viral. Those videos will go viral, and then people will go to Amazon to search for your brand, and you will crush it on TikTok Shop, right? So this is how you can leverage AI to help you do this. You can get it to come up with creative hooks, and you can also get it to come up with the brief for what you give to the target. So look, this is going to give them the audience, energy drinks made crash, coffee milk, blah, blah, blah. So Manifold will feel like the ultimate gamer portion. So obviously, we were going to do this in a different way. We were going to target gamers. If I was honest about doing this, I wouldn't target gamers. I just wanted to use that as as an example. But it gives you all these viral hook ideas. What if gamer potions were real? Before and after drinking. So show your HUD or game stats improving after you drink it. Look, it's going to give you all of these ideas, and you can go deeper and deeper and deeper. You can start to research this demographic of gamers, really understand their pain points, what they think about, what's going to stand out to them. And then you can give that to all of your content creators, right? So at this point, we're gonna basically recruit an army of content creators. Then we're going to use we're going to use GPT to write a brief, super simple. You're going to give to all the content creators, and then you're going to get them to create this content. 30 days, as much content as you can. My dog's just come in. It looks like we've got a ghost. Now, bingo. Come on. All right, get out. Get out. Got it. It's wonderful having a dog, isn't it? So once we've done that, we've got all these content creators, right? you've got your product on Amazon, it's going viral on TikTok, you're absolutely killing it, right? It's not going to happen overnight. Maybe you have to spend some time finding creators. I can do another video on how you can do that, or you can join our community and use our creators. Then what you can do is you can use ChatGPT to recreate some of the top performing statics from other brands, right? So you can come to the ad library and you can find ads from these other brands that you're trying to sort of imitate or kind of copy, whatever it is, right? So I can copy this image and then I can give it to ChatGPT. Where was it? So, and then I can ask it to recreate. Can you recreate this image using my product packaging from above, the green one, the green version? Now, hopefully it lets me do this and it doesn't give me any legal attitudes. Because sometimes it can do. But this is where you can start building out all of your static ads, right? The other thing is once you start going viral on TikTok, you can ask the creators that went viral if you can use that content on Meta to run Facebook and Instagram ads, right? So you can see how all of this works together and you get this flywheel effect where you go viral on TikTok. You then use that viral content. You then create static ads with AI and you're creating all of this awareness for your products that you made with AI, that you launched on Amazon, and then you get fucking rich. So let's see what it comes up with. It looks like it's actually going to do it. Hopefully it's not going to freak out and say that it's stopped. But you can use the ad library here, right? And all I did was type in Yerba Magic. And these are actually all people just ripping off this product. Now, because this is not actually these guys selling it. And this is what happens when you get to the levels that these guys are at, right? And you can see here, here's another one that you could kind of copy, another one here. This is basically just somebody who should be getting like legal action because you can see they've literally just ripped off this product. But this is what happens in the dropshipping world is they just rip off other people's brands and they drop ship it from China and they make probably a lot of money and they get away with it. It's not the most ethical way to do business. And I would never recommend anybody does this. They just faking it. And, but this is what happens when you get to this level of success. But Yerba Magic are still doing $4 or $5 million a month. It's just a natural part of the process. And they're probably also going to legally get these guys absolutely screwed, hopefully. So here we go. Balance in a cup. Look at that. So it's not done it exactly as we wanted it. It's a little bit sort of off, but that's pretty damn good. You could run that as a Facebook ad, and I've just created that, and it's actually made like a new version of the packaging, which is a little bit better. But I've just made that in 2 minutes. So you've got a brief that you can use for creators. You've got ideas that you can give to creators for viral hooks. You've got static ads, you've got packaging, you've got branding, you've got logos, you've got everything all made with AI. And look how long this has taken me. This has taken me like, what? I'm 48 minutes into the video. I could do this with 50 different products and I could have these products launched in the next 8 weeks. And leveraging content creators, leveraging meta ads, leveraging all of these different things, this is how you can absolutely crush it. And the proof is in the pudding. Look, these brands, $3-4 million a month, made with AI. It ain't easy, but it's not rocket science. Yeah, this is what we're doing with our brand. We didn't use AI for our brand. We've used it for some stuff, but we're using TikTok creators. We're using meta ads. We're using a lot of AI to create our static ads. They're going really, really well. And it's so much cheaper. It's so much faster than using designers, and it's incredible. So that's it for this one. I think I've covered everything, right? From finding, sourcing, branding, launching. If there's anything that you want me to go further in depth on, or if you want a bit of help with doing this, is what we help people do within the community. Click the link below where you can apply to join us. And yeah, let me know what you think of the video. I'll see you in the next one.